Hello everybody, welcome back. Simslife here. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a random tutorial on how to recolor some clothing items with a pattern. Not just changing the color, but adding a pattern to it. And I figure I would just go ahead and record the items that I wanted to recolor in hopes to maybe help somebody else out in the process. For doing this, as usual, you're going to need Sims4 Studio and a photo editing software. I do use Photoshop. You might be able to apply this to GIMP. I'm not sure. Photoshop is the only one I've ever used, so it's the only one I know. So this might be a little bit of a long video. I'm not sure yet. But I will have things time-stamped, so that way you can skip over things that you might already know, or skip ahead or skip around or whatnot. And since I am going to be using a pattern, I figured the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to save a pattern so you can use it later. I'm going to show you how to save it in Photoshop. That was the biggest thing that I didn't know. That helped me out to be able to do this. So to save a pattern, whenever I'm using patterns, I always look for something that's seamless, so that way, it all connects together. It's not all chopped up. So usually I will just go to Google and I'll look for something that's seamless. So I'll just type in like seamless pattern. This is only for me showing you, so this is not a pattern that I'm going to keep. For seamless, you want to make sure that it's even, that it's the same height and width. So I'm just going to go ahead with this one. This one is 900 by 900. So I'm just going to go ahead and save this image. Okay, then when that's done, I'm going to go ahead and open this in Photoshop. And if you want, you can go ahead and go to Filter, go to Other, go to Offset, and this is to check it to make sure that it's in fact seamless. So I have it's set right now to 200 by 200, horizontal and vertical. So I'm going to hit OK. And as long as there's no lines going through it, like up or down or across or anything, that means it's a seamless pattern. So I'm going to go to Edit, go to Define Pattern, and you can name it whatever you want. I'm just going to call it lemons or whatnot, because that's what it is. And then hit OK. And now the pattern is saved. So you can close you can even delete it. It doesn't matter because it's saved in Photoshop. Okay, so what I'm going to be recoloring is a pajama top and a pajama bottom. So once you open up Sims4 Studio, you're going to want to go to CAS and create a Sim standalone. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And I know it's a base game item, so I'm going to set it to base game, so that way it's all it shows me. And it's for an adult. And you're going to find it quicker under male, and it's a clothing top. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down just a little bit. Okay, so here are the pajama tops. And since I'm using a pattern, I'm just going to go ahead and choose the white one. Hit next. I'm going to just put this. This is your package file that you will put in your mods folder. I'm going to PJ top. Okay, save that. And I'm going to go ahead and export the diffuse. I'm just going to call it top. And I'm going to save it. I am going to do the pants separately, so I will export those later, and it is the same process but with an extra step. It will be in the times. It will be time stamped, so I would recommend at least watching the first step to it, so that way you can see the extra step. That might be helpful to you. Okay, so I got the top, so I'm just going to go ahead and minimize this, and I'm going to open up the top in Photoshop. Okay, so I'm going to try to do some, hopefully I don't get too confusing here. Okay, so now that I got the top open, I'm going to scroll in so that way hopefully it'll be visible. Okay, but I do want to add a new pattern to this, and I want to keep the buttons the same color. I don't want the pattern to go over the buttons. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to take my magic wand, and I'm going to click on the buttons. Now to select all the buttons, you want to shift click them. Don't just click them. You want to hold shift and then click on them. Before I go any further, because if you forget to hold shift, it says no pixels were selected, and then they'll just deselect. So go ahead and hold shift. I'm going to click on all the buttons so that way they're selected. Now just say like this is the collar right down here. If you didn't want the collar to have the pattern on it, then you would just hold shift and click on the collar to go with it. But I want that recolored. Okay, so now that I got the buttons recolored, I'm going to hit Control J, and it's going to copy the color of the buttons. So, and that's in layer 1. So I'm going to title this buttons, so that way I know that's what those are. So I'm going to come back down to layer 0, and I'm going to title this bottoms. That's the pants, or not the bottoms. Oh geez, it's the top. I'm not doing the pants yet. So I'm going to title that top, so that way I know that's the shirt. And now I'm going to come down here, right here. It's right in between this folder and the delete right here. I'm going to click on that to make a new layer. And this is where you're going to pretty much add your pattern to. So I'm going to title this one pattern. Okay. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to right click on the pattern layer and create clipping mask. Okay, and once you do that, then hit Control backspace, and it's gonna make the whole top white. And then I'm going to go to, this is your blending option here, and I'm going to set that multiply. And the reason why I did the Control backspace is because my background, the color here is white. If it were set to a different color, it's going to use whatever color this is set to, so make sure that that's white. Okay, and so now I'm going to double click on the pattern, and I'm going to come down to Pattern Overlay. And this is why this is why it makes it easier saving the pattern. I already had patterns that I had already chosen a long time ago. I just never got around to using them. And so, like, here's the pattern that I had saved. I'm not using it, but this is the pattern that I'd saved. This is where you would find it. However, this is the one I'm using. I just thought it was cute, like little video game things. Then you're going to go to blending or blend mode and select multiply. So that way it blends in with the fabric, and you get the wrinkles, and now you get the pockets, and the buttons are still black. And here you can scale it. Like if you don't want the pattern thing to be so big. You can just scale it down if you want, but keep in mind you might lose. It might get a little blurry if you do too much, or if you do it too big. So I'm gonna scale it down to maybe, I don't know, 70. You can just type it in too if you're having a hard time getting it to a certain one. So 70 looks good. Just whatever you scale it. If you're gonna make like a set, just remember the number that you scaled it down to, so you can scale it down to the same on the pants or the bottoms or whatever. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK. And now I'm going to go ahead and just save this. And save it as a PNG, because that's what the game reads. So I'm just going to, doesn't matter about one. Just going to do them all real quick, and it's not going to take long. So then once that's saved, I'm going to go back to pattern overlay, and I'm going to go get my next one. And all your settings should still be the same. 70 multiply. Hit OK. And save as. Back down to PNG. We'll just do top 2. OK. And then again, double click on the pattern overlay. And I'm going to go to my next one. There's only 4. Hit OK. And save as. PNG. And then do top 3. And then I have one more. Go to pattern overlay. There we go. Do save as. Top 4. Okay. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to import those textures I just did. We're going to do top 1. Add a swatch. Import 2. Add my other swatch. And I'm going to add my last one. Okay. And then you can do, I'm only going to do this for one. I'm not going to show all these because it's rinse and repeat. I'm just going to do like the first swatch. So I'm just going to find a place on there. Right click and then left click on the top. And then the next one is pretty much just white or grayish or whatever. And then you can save. And I'm going to do that for the rest of them. I just wanted to show the one. And then you got the categories. You know, I don't know why, you know, alien's not checked, but you know, you can set all the colors that you want. So this is like pink and white. Okay, so I will come back and do these later. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the pants. Okay, so these are the pajama bottoms that go with the top that I recolored. And here's where the extra step comes in, is I'm going to select the white ones because those are the ones that I want to recolor with the pattern. But I'm also going to choose the red ones. And that's going to make selecting the strings on the pants a lot easier. So I'm going to hit next. And then these are going to be PJ bottoms. Oops. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and save that package file. Okay, so now I got the red and the white. So I'm going to go ahead and export the white ones. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then I'm going to go ahead and export the red. And gonna open up the white bottoms in Photoshop. I'm gonna close out this. I don't need that anymore. I don't need this. Okay, so I got the bottoms opened up, and now I'm going to go ahead and open up the red ones. Okay, so I'm gonna select all so I can copy the red, and then go back to the white and Control V so I can paste them in. So I'm gonna go ahead and okay, so that way you can see. So I'm gonna go ahead to my move tool, and I'm gonna take the red ones and I'm gonna line them up. They have to be exact, so you line them up right on top of the white. And then I'm gonna go to my magic wand tool. And the reason why I'm using the red pants too is because since everything is one solid color, it's going like here. Let's see. Let me hide this real quick. Because it's all one color, it's going to start trying to select everything, which makes it hard. So that's why I'm using the red layer, the red pants here, to select the string. So now that I got my magic wand tool, I'm going to hold shift and I'm going to just click on the, there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to hit Control J, and then I'm going to title this layer, we'll just call it strings. All it did was it saved the strings as they are. Okay, so this one I don't need. I'm just going to hide the red pants because I don't need those anymore. And then this is, now we can call this the bottoms. That's what those are. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and add a new layer right on top of bottoms. Pattern. We're going to call this pattern. And then we're going to right click, create a clipping mask, and then we're going to hit Control backspace so that way everything turns white except for the strings. And then multiply. And it's the same here on out as with the shirt. The only change was the having to use an extra pair of pants so that way I can select the strings easier. Okay, so then I'm just gonna go ahead and double click on the pattern, go to pattern overlay, and I'm gonna start in the same order that I did before. Blend mode, change that to multiply, and I'm going to bring it back down to 70 because that's what I did for the last one. Then hit OK. Then we're going to go ahead and save those. We'll just call these bottom one. I'm going to go back to pattern overlay again. Hit OK. Go to save as. Always a PNG. Bottom 2. So it's just rinse and repeat from here. I'm just going to go ahead and finish these up. And then we'll go ahead and look and see how they are. See how they look in game or whatnot. Alright, so I'm here in Create a Sim. And I'm just going to go ahead and go straight to custom content. And there. Here's the top. And not that one. Let's go to custom content. Okay, and there's the bottoms. And then here's the string that so that way the string stayed white and I added the pattern. And then you got the top. I didn't finish the the thumbnails, and we're gonna do those here just in a little bit. So anyways, that's just a pattern that I've been wanting to add. So I will leave a link in the description if you wanted to download these. I can't remember where I got the pattern from. I've had it for a long time now. But if you want to download them, I'll leave a link to them in the description. So anyways, guys, I hope that helps somebody. And I will hopefully talk to you sometime soon. Bye, guys.